Hey everyone, just got off the phone with my attorney, Anthony Busa with JBL law firm there in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. So as many of you have probably already have heard, we did lose our appeal with the Minnesota Court of Appeals. I'll post a link to the website there so everybody could have a chance to look it over and read it, but they did affirm the lower courts. Saying they did not abuse their power and stuff. So I've been feeling a little discouraged about that, actually. However, this does mean we are on our way to filing with the Supreme Court this week. By the end of this week, we will have it all filed with the Supreme Court. Now, the Minnesota Supreme Court does only take about 2% of their cases. I don't believe they've ever taken an implied consent case before. I have to look into that a little bit more, but as far as I could tell, there hasn't been much. They try not to get too much into civil things, but we do need to exhaust all avenues, so it's necessary to apply and submit a review with the Minnesota Supreme Court. My CDL does fall under the Federal Motor Carriers, which is governed by the federal government, and this does give us a foot into the U.S. Supreme Court. So we will preserve that in our filings with the Minnesota Supreme Court. I believe there's a national interest here on how discovery is handled in an implied consent case with people with commercial vehicles, CDLs, with a commercial driver's license. To disqualify somebody from their livelihood before being proven guilty in a civil hearing is too consequential for drivers. And there are a lot of drivers out there that are on Schedule 2 drugs like Adderall, and it's almost one of the number one prescribed medications in the country. There's been shortages of it. In fact, I've had a hard time getting it at my pharmacies just because of there being a shortage on it. And so there's that. It's just very consequential for drivers that are providing for their families and trying to have a livelihood and have a right to make an income and support themselves and be able to take medication prescribed by their doctor, as long as they're not abusing it and taking it as prescribed, such as myself. I have not been on Adderall since my DWI stop, just because the consequences are so high. So it's kind of hard for me to make a video and stay focused, I guess, stay on point here, but bear with me. I appreciate you for doing so. So anyways, we lost the appeal, and we're filing this week for the U.S. Supreme Court, or for the Minnesota Supreme Court. If they do not accept it, which there is a likelihood that they may, because they cherry-picked the 8 minutes of dash cam video that it had no audio to it. They framed me. I feel, in my opinion, I was framed on this charge. And it being framed. And now they come back and charge me criminally. Now that I've lost my appeal, which has now been put back on hold again because we're filing with this Minnesota Supreme Court, and they don't want to have a criminal proceeding going on at the same time that I'm litigating the civil part. So criminal charges are once again being put out further until we hear from the Minnesota Supreme Court. We're going to be pretty aggressive on the criminal side of things about them cherry picking that 8 minutes. To me, it's a Brady violation. It's evidence tampering. It should never have been allowed to happen. In the petition for the implied consent, Anthony Busa, my attorney, requested discovery in that, and they said that they were going to supply all that they had, and they had a lot more than 8 minutes, and we know that because I've been able to, once they charged me criminally, when I lost the implied consent hearing, December 31st, they filed, of 2024, they filed the criminal charges, and at that time, they released all unedited dash cam and body cam footage. I truly believe that the outcome at my implied consent hearing would have been much different had all the video been in front of the judge. She would not, Officer Bozer, I do not believe, would have testified the way she did if all the video was before the court. In my opinion, she lied, and she gave false testimony. She definitely bent it to their favor, and they knew what they were doing when they cherry picked 8 minutes and testified that that was an accurate representation of the scene. It simply wasn't. I wouldn't have the support that I have if it was. I don't believe so. I don't believe a jury is going to convict me when they see all the dash cam and video evidence. She testified that for my safety, she ended the one-legged stand because of my balance and stuff, and that's simply not true. In fact, she asked me if I wanted to take my shoes off and try again. She lied. She testified, and she lied, and the judge did not credit my credit worthiness. And he did hers because of her DRE, her drug recognition expert thing, a 40 hours class that she took, and testifying that she went to California and dealt with 12 intoxicated people. And what a waste of taxpayers' dollars. Seriously. These DREs have no business being out there. They really don't. Not the ones that I've encountered, not the ones I've seen on BP Cast, on Audit the Audit, on Here's the Deal, on that John Lang does. None of these guys that we've seen too many DREs abusing their power and just not being knowledgeable in what they're doing. And it's consequential for us. It truly is. This has really set me and Tina and my family back a lot. I mean, thank God for your guys' help, for all the donors on the GoFundMe. I don't know how we would have done it without you. I just want to thank everybody again for your support. But anyways, we're going to be filing that in the Minnesota Supreme Court by the end of the week. There is a $10,000 retainer on that. Part of that GoFundMe, is public. And for the last year plus, I've had a lot of family and a lot of friends float me and kind of carry me through some tough times there. And it was really hard to not get away from being able to help pay back what they paid already for attorney's costs and for just making sure that me and my family were making ends meet on some bills and stuff. So it was causing some rifts in the family. So I did have to break some bread with them and take care of that too. So not all of it went on legal fees and stuff, but it did go on the loss of my job and helping me fight this unjust arrest and suspension of my CDL. But it is a pretty big burden to have to write a check for 10 grand this tomorrow morning, in fact, for the attorney to file with the with the Minnesota Supreme Court, and also look for a review hearing in the district court because of the newly found evidence that was withheld. I believe there's a Brady violation here. The state knew good and well that they were cherry picking this dash cam video. It was edited. It was not just an 8-minute dash cam video that they entered. They cropped out 8 minutes. So that's an edited video. They tampered with the evidence. And it's a serious violation. In fact, it might be so big of a violation that the judge might dismiss the case altogether. Or he could possibly toss out all the evidence. Because once you tamper with evidence, it's all considered contaminated. So that'd probably be the toxicology report. The blood sample showed my prescription in it within therapeutic range because I was taking it as prescribed. As I told the officer that day, I was honest with her. Thank God I was clean, sober, have been, and still am. Praise Jesus. And all you supporters out there, don't know where I'd be without you. I truly don't. So I'm really thankful for the sobriety. All right, I'm going back off on again here. All right, so there's a Brady violation there, in my opinion. She lied on the witness stand. She testified poorly. Megan Bozer did. I didn't get to confront my accuser. The state did not provide the caller that called me in. He is being identified as an informant in the paperwork. So were they tailgating me? Is there also a stalking thing going on here too? Was this caller somebody that might have had a vendetta against me? Why didn't I get to question his credibility and who he is? I wasn't all over the road. The Little Falls police officer testified that he's jerking movements. I wonder why you guys didn't admit the video of him following me in a squad car. Maybe because it doesn't show any jerking movements. They're going to have a heck of a time. In fact, they've already offered to dismiss the DWI criminal charge if I plead guilty to a reckless or a careless. I'm not taking any plea bargains, guys. Not as much support as I've gotten from you. Are we taking any plea bargains? I want to make that clear. We are going to trial. And I've already got the thing in my car. The judge could sentence me up to a year in jail and a $10,000 fine. But I have a feeling that if I have to sit a year in jail yet, you guys look after me. I'm sure I'll get some letters. I can do it, and I am going to do it. We're going to the Supreme Court. We're going to get our congressmen and whoever we got to write to get this stuff litigated appropriately, because what's going on isn't fair. It's unjust. It goes against our Constitution. I should be at work right now in a truck doing what I went to school for and what I trained for as a professional driver. And I should still be working. I know my last video I mentioned I was working and running a crew of 6 trucks. That did not work out, unfortunately. Part of that job description was me being behind the wheel. And at first it started out being on location, and then they rerouted it where I had to be on a county road and had to be able to get fuel in the truck and stuff and get it. So it didn't work out without having the CDL. So it was short-lived. But it sure felt good to be back to work there and doing what I do in my profession. So I've just been here trying to hang in there best I can, guys. I get through some slumps here where I get kind of down and I get kind of in a negative attitude about it all. It's really, really frustrating to know that they were able to not only take me on the side of the road, kidnap me on my way to my daughter's graduation by tyrants, road pirates. Really, that's what happened that day. And I know a lot of this audience probably doesn't want to hear this, but I have had my share of good cops that I've dealt with that were honest, had integrity, and just have done, in my opinion, what they're supposed to be doing. And on May 31st, on my way to my daughter's graduation, I ran into 2 cops that were tyrants, and they took my livelihood from me, and in a very unjust way, in an unlawful way. And I really need everybody's continued support to fight this. We want to get this up to the U.S. Supreme Court. It's a battle, guys, and I can't do it by myself. We all got to do it together. We want to see the change. We got to be the change. And I certainly can't do it without a job and an income and what little money I do got coming in to be able to do it all on my own. So we got to do it together, So, click like, subscribe, comment on the YouTube channel. I'm going to try doing a better job making more posts. I will, keeping things updated. The process has been slow, but I'm trying to find my niche and finding what kind of content to do on here. Maybe making my own comments off of stuff that we're seeing off of Brian and BP Cast and all them guys too. I kind of see that a lot of them kind of comment on each other's videos and stuff, and I guess that's kind of what we do. So anyways, I did want to update everybody, but part of this problem of me making a video sooner too was my memory. Not this memory, but my memory on my device was low. So I had to get rid of some stuff and move some stuff around on my device here to make enough room to make a video. But yeah, it's a beautiful day out here today. Just out there been out there mowing and trying to do some work around here. It's been hot. It's been a hot summer actually. Yeah, I appreciate all the comments. While I was working there, I got a little behind on comments and stuff. Do a better job of staying in touch with everybody and everything here with your comments. Getting back to you. Been getting some emails coming in off the GoFundMe. I really appreciate the feedback that I've been getting. If anybody's out there watching and has access or knows a journalist or anybody that wants to do some coverage on this story, please get them in touch with me. Get them in touch with my channel with on what's going on here. I'm at Present News did do a interview with me, and they covered some of the story and stuff. And I know the guys on BP Cast and Audit the Audit, John Lang. Here's the deal. I know that them guys all covered some stuff. I hope I'm not missing anybody out, leaving anybody out. That I like to give credit where credit's due. And I went to God anywhere where we're at today. If it wasn't for any of those guys doing a video and showcasing the stop on their channel. So I got just a debt of gratitude for them and for all the supporters and viewers and all you guys that are coming to my channel, watching and liking. I really appreciate it. Please stay with me. Please share the GoFundMe. Like I say, tomorrow again is another big check, 10 grand. And we're going to win this, guys. I'm telling you that this violation, not only that occurred May 31st when they stopped me unlawfully and unlawfully arrested me and unlawfully took my car and unlawfully maybe missed my daughter's graduation, but also unlawfully tampered with evidence. That 8 minutes of dash cam video with no audio is not an accurate representation of the scene. They cherry picked the video and they edited it. When you cut out a section that's edited, you can't do that. It's illegal. It's a major violation, and it's going to get before a judge, and he's going to see it. And something's going to happen. We're going to win this. I mean, so let's just stay in it a bit longer. Let's see it all the way through. We're going to take it all the way. We're going to litigate this all the way out, guys. As long as we're all together and you're still showing your support. Unfortunately, we live in a world where it takes money to litigate things out. So, please share the GoFundMe on your social media networks with your friends, your family, your church groups, your activist groups, whatever you're into. Please share it, and let's see what we can do. Let's be humanity at its best here. Again, you'd be doing me a big favor, doing all of us a big favor. With your support. It won't go unseen. It won't go unseen, guys. They did in fact not give full discovery to my attorney. He requested it in the petition at the implied consent hearing. They gave him very limited video, only 8 minutes. I'm telling you guys, it's a violation. But we got to go further with it. So we got to get it in front of the judge. The judge that ruled out the implied consent hearing is retired, so we won't have the same judge at the implied consent hearing. And we're gonna get this back in district court, and we might get it. Hopefully Minnesota Supreme Court will look at it. I think there needs to be a determination. I think it involves everybody on how implied consent discovery is handled. That there needs to be some more clarification there. This wouldn't have happened to me if they provided all the dash cam and video cam evidence and the testified, if they would have testified truthfully, and they would have accepted my therapeutic level BCA toxicology report as evidence that I wasn't abusing my medication. For me to have to come up with the money and pay an expert to come in to testify that I was taking my medication as prescribed and that the BCA toxicology report is in range and supports my 30 milligram a day thing, that this wouldn't have happened. If those cops didn't stop me unlawfully that day and trying to meet their quota, I mean, think about it. I mean, everything December 31st, they file criminal charges. Everything gets kind of finalized on December 31st, right at the end of the year. I mean, that sounds a lot like a quota being met for end of the year type of stuff. You know, last minute type of thing. I don't know, guys. Probably, maybe I'm getting a little paranoid now, and I think maybe rightfully so, right? I mean, so, I don't want to ramble on too much here, but just thank you guys for taking the time to hear me out again. Again, a link will be in the GoFundMe, and anybody you know you want to share the video with, to stop with, get it out there, however you can, you know. Get it out there. Let's get it out there. Let's get it viral. Let's keep it going. We got we're jumping some hurdles here. I know it doesn't look good, losing the appeal and stuff, but Minnesota Court of Appeals does not look at any new evidence. So whatever evidence that came into district court, that 8 minutes, and heard BS testimony without producing a witness, guys, this is so crooked. Just stay with me. Let's keep going. Let's get some other laws in there for more clear. The laws need to be better clarified, especially with a commercial driver holder too. You know, I mean, my job's gone. You know, and I fall under a federal regulatory rules here. You know, so and a good thing too, because we're going to preserve that right in my Minnesota Supreme hearing. To be able to go to the U.S. Supreme Court, because I think the U.S. Supreme Court should have some say on how implied consent hearings are dealt with people with a CDL. If you're going to go ahead and revoke the CDL right away just because toxicology comes back with a prescription in it, I mean, a guy loses, a man or a woman, they lose their job because they're taking medication by a doctor. And let me tell you something about my medication. 10 years I've been driving over the road on this medication, over 10 years. And every time I go to see my medical review officer, that's what you got to do for a DOT or any new job or anything. You got to go and take a drug test. When I take that drug test, I show positive for an amphetamine. The reviewing medical officer that receives that drug test calls me up on the phone, and I give them the RX number. That's the number on the top of my prescription bottle. Once they confirm that with how much of it's in my system, whatever, they then report back a negative result. And that's probably what needs to be done with these implied consent hearings and these DWI hearings, is if you can, right off the bat, you send in your prescription, and whoever's doing the testing, they confirm it, that it's not being abused, whatever, and they send back the negative result. And we really need to get hold of our legislators and stuff, and we really need to get on the ball here, because like I say, Adderall's a big prescriber. But we got adolescents, we've got children, kids, young adults going to and from school, high school, and college on Adderall, with a lot less experience driving than I do, a lot less time on Adderall than I've been. I've been on these medications since 5th grade. I hope you guys can't tell that just from watching this video. I'm not on anything right now. Probably why I've been all over, and we're going on 23 minutes already. All right, so anyways, I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, so we got these high schooler stuff going back and forth to school on Adderall, and with less experience with it and stuff, and they're not getting their life destroyed. At least not all of them, not right now, but I'm sure there's a few. I mean, that are driving to school and they get a DUI. I mean, come on. I mean, this medication helps a person stay focused. In fact, there's studies out there that show that it actually, less accidents happen. You're more focused. You're more aware of your surroundings. You have more situational awareness going on. You know, so again, this is my plea to all of you to please stay with me. Please give what you can on the GoFundMe. And I'll continue fighting, and I'll continue doing my research. I really love Odo the Watchdog. on his channel. John Lang did recently a live feed. I don't know, maybe it wasn't live, but I watched a lot of John Lang too. But he supports Odo the watchdog. He's a First Amendment auditor, and he does some great work out there, guys. There's one where he does it with the clock in the background, and he times it, and he's very professional about it, and he really covers his basis. And if you want to watch good First Amendment audits, he does a really good job of it. And his so anyways, I've been kind of, you know, watching. I follow him a lot and stuff, and I'm going to be probably trying to get out there and do some First Amendment audits myself. I haven't not done one yet. I've been tempted to pull over, and when I've seen other people pulled over, and start to do an audit. But I'm in the middle of some stuff right now, as you all know, and I don't want to be behind bars, and I don't want to give them a reason to. I know it kind of sounds almost cowardly of me, maybe, but that's the world we live in right now, and they would love to have me behind bars trying to litigate this out right now. You know, the state would just love that. So I don't want to give them the opportunity. But anyways, again, thank you guys so much. I hope the quality of the video is okay for everybody. I should probably get a little stand and stuff. I know mine doesn't quite match up with a lot of YouTubers. I'm not saying I'm a YouTuber, but I guess I'm trying to get something started here. I'm in the right direction, I think, but hopefully things improve. Hopefully you guys will see more of Tina and stuff. We were kind of talking about this litigated stuff, but we're going to try to find our niche and on here on YouTube. And we're both in recovery and doing really good. And so we might be getting into some stuff like that on our channel. Yeah, just again, I like to engage with you too. So feel free in the comments, email me, you know, whatever. So thank you, and you guys all have a good one. See you around. See you at the next update, or sooner. I'll be coming up with something here, some content here. So thank you guys. Bye.